Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting the Christy Crossbody sew along. This is a brand new pattern by Linds Handmade. It was just released a couple of weeks ago, so I am super happy to share my first one. I actually haven't made it yet, so we'll be literally sewing it along together for the first time. So I'm very happy that this was the chosen pattern because I am a big fan of crossbody bags. It's the style that I wear the most. Besides a big tote, a crossbody is my actually it's my day-to-day bag, a crossbody. So I have a feeling this will become it. We did have a poll. If you're not in the backstitch backroom, we did have a poll of what bag pattern we're sewing for the month of October. So Christy was definitely the winner in that election. So without further ado, let's get started into the sew along. If you have not purchased the pattern quite yet, go and join the backstitch backroom because I do have an exclusive code from Lindsay for this particular pattern. The code does expire in November, so go grab it right now. It's valid for the duration of the sew along. As always, the videos will stay up on my channel, but the code will probably not be valid after November, the first week of November, I believe. So grab that pattern. It does come with a letter format. It has an SVG file, so you can use your Cricut or your Silhouette Cameo or Scan and Cut, whatever cutting machine you use. It does include those files. It also has a projector file, which is very rare with bag makers, and so you have plenty of ways to utilize this PDF pattern. I've decided to go for the old-fashioned print and cut by hand method. I kind of prefer that for bags. I don't know why. For clothes I exclusively use a projector, and you know that from my sew alongs. But for bags I do prefer the good old paper and rotary cutter. I did end up printing the first two pages of the pattern pieces twice. This way I have separate pieces. You don't have to, you can just use the dash line, but I prefer to have separate pattern pieces. And for this sew along, I'm going to be going on a maybe an unusual direction for me, because you do know that I love my bold prints, my bold bags, I am not a neutral kind of a person. I make a statement, you can tell by the hair. So, but this time I won't stray much from my preferred color palette, but I've decided to make a somewhat non-inspired crossbody during this sew along, one that I can use for any outfit, any day, and anytime. So I've decided for the sew along that I will be going with this gorgeous purple glitter from Backstitch Prints. This sew along is hosted by me for Backstitch Prints. It will be in the videos will also be linked in the Backstitch backroom, and that's where you'll be checking in for the sew along as always. So I do want to thank Backstitch Print for providing me with this gorgeous vinyl that I'm going to be using for the sew along. This is the purple glitter. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it has a woven backing, which I love. It's my preferred backing for vinyl, and it's pliable but not stretchy. It's has a great weight. I absolutely love it, and I've tried other glitter vinyls and they're the worst to sew on a domestic. This one actually is much better than the thicker glitter vinyls out there. So I do encourage you to try it. It's amazing. And for the exterior pocket and the lining, I'm going to go, well, size permitting and the lining, I'm going to go with this water resistant canvas, again from Backstitch Prints. And I had a few options in my stash, but I did choose this. This was ran with the Superpower round. It's a coordinate from the Superpower. I actually have a dress in this print, so I think this would work well. And it's not specific to a print. It's a great coordinate. So I'm going to use this for the outer pocket and the lining. Again, this is water resistant canvas. And for my straps, I'm going to use the watercolor because obviously. This is 1-inch webbing in watercolor, also run by Backstitch Prints. I love it. I had, here's the proof. I had 17 yards of this ordered when it ran, and I keep using it and keep using it. I do have my pattern pieces. I don't believe I'm going to interface this because I don't like super stiff crossbodies, especially when they're on the small-ish side. This is a medium, like Lindsay calls it, schmedium. It's a small to medium size. It's kind of like this. Well, you can kind of guess it based on the pattern piece. This is the lining, so it's take the seam allowance out of it, so it's not too big but not too small either. It's just the right size if you ask me. And I do like my crossbody to be a little bit more flexible, so I will not be adding any Geeky Fuse Cotton Soft like as I usually do on it, neither on the lining or the main, because I want that flexibility of the bag. If you do use cotton woven, I strongly encourage you to interface all your pattern pieces with either SF101, but my personal preference is the Geeky Fuse Cotton Soft. As always, I'll link everything that I'm using in the description of the videos. All my hardware will be from Wizardry Stitchery Crafts, as always. I will have to decide which one I want to use yet. I don't know yet which pattern I'm going to use. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut my fabric and then select my hardware and my zippers. You do need a zipper. Optionally, you can use rivets as well for this project, but don't let not having all the gadgets stop you from making a bag. You know what I always say, I do have a lot of stuff in my office, but this came within a 10-year period, a little bit at a time. And so promise me that you will not stop creating just because you don't have all the tools that the next person, the person next to you has, or the sewist you've seen on a Facebook group has, or even you see during the sew-alongs. You do not need everything. They do make your life easier. Sometimes I strongly encourage you to buy stuff, but you don't need them. So please work with what you have. Adjust your pattern and your sewing style based on what you have. Like, you only have a domestic machine and you want to use glitter vinyl, not a problem. Grab some tissue paper or water soluble stabilizer, place it on top of this when you sew, you won't have a problem. So, you know, adjust to what you have in your stash before you spend additional money or time in looking for the brand new gadget out there. All right, off my soapbox I go, and we're going to start cutting the pattern together. All right, I have my vinyl, my water-resistant canvas, a rotary cutter, and my pattern pieces. So first thing that I like to do when I cut, because I like to cut one base at a time. So I know this is going to be water-resistant, this is going to be water-resistant. The earring tabs, I think this I'll do water resistant too. Zipper tabs for sure, interior pocket for sure. So these, and facing for sure. So these two will be my vinyl, and the rest will be water resistant canvas. Hopefully all fits in one 18-inch roll. So let's start by cutting the vinyl first. I believe this purple one, oh, look how gorgeous it is, was ran, and you can see my ring light reflection. This one was ran, I believe, in the last round or Halloween round. Might have been with the Halloween round. Yeah, I don't think it was. I think it was with the Halloween round. I'm not sure. So we need 2 of these. I've looked through the pattern instructions and it looks like a very beginner friendly project. And I love that it doesn't have a lot of pattern pieces. Last bag we did together was a sling bag, right? Remember that one had a lot of pattern pieces. This one is not like that, for sure. And it has like boxed corners, so a dart bottom, which makes it super beginner friendly. There's no gusset, so definitely a project to start when in your bag making journey, or if you're a vet and you want a crossbody. Okay, so 2 of that. We can put this aside. If you want your bag to be a little softer on the inside, you can certainly use fusible fleece. I personally love Thermalum for bags instead of fusible fleece. But whatever works for you. I don't think I want to add any loftiness to this, so I think I'm just going to leave it naked and just have the Alright, so my glitter pieces are done. So cute. I'm thinking now for the outside pocket that I might introduce a third fabric in the mix, just to have that faux piping look, because I like that look. We'll see. Okay, let's put those aside for now. Keep your pattern pieces close to you while you sew, because you have some markings on them. We might add those markings tomorrow when we do the prep work. So now for the exterior pocket. So this will go on top of this. I will do one for now. It has a main and a liner, so this will be my main. And for the liner, I might go look for like a solid fabric. This way it has that, you know, that piping that you've seen on the cover pattern. So we'll hold off on this one for now. If you're using leather, cork, or vinyl, you only need to cut one. If you're using water-resistant canvas or cotton woven, you definitely need to cut 2 pieces so you can line your exterior pocket. Okay, and now I'm cutting the lining, and I'm cutting the entire piece. So I did print 2 pattern pieces earlier, but if you printed only one, you need to cut the main at the dash line and the lining at the top of the pattern piece. I cut 2 pattern pieces so I don't have to remember this, because it's just 2 papers. It makes my life easier. Okay, 2 of these. The pattern has one inside zipper pocket that will be used to turn the bag, and one outside sleeve pocket that is that rectangle piece that we cut before. If you want to add that sleeve pocket on both sides of the front and the back, you can certainly do that. Just remember that it will add bulk to your project. So if you're using an industrial machine, you probably won't have any issues. But if you're using a domestic, keep in mind any additional pockets you add to the front or the back of the main will increase the bulk when you stitch the bag. Okay, so that is done. Let's do the facing. And for the facing, you only cut the outside. The inside rectangle is used to draw on the pattern pieces. You'll see tomorrow when we do the pocket. So do not cut this part. Do not cut it. We'll use it just to draw and stitch. Okay, so that is done. You only need one of those. Then you need the crossbody D-ring tabs, and you only need one of these. If you're using a directional print, cut them like this, vertically. So one of those, and that is for 1-inch hardware. So if you're adjusting your hardware to different sizes, make sure that you adjust your pattern pieces accordingly. You need 2 zipper tabs. This is for the main zipper. The inside zipper from the pocket doesn't need tabs. Two zipper tabs. And then we need 2 pockets inside. So this is the interior zipper pocket that you have here. Okay, and you need 2 of those. The measurements, if you do not want to print the pattern pieces, the designer does include the measurements for all rectangles. I personally prefer pattern pieces, even for rectangles, if they're like a decent size. Like I don't want a pattern piece for a crossbody strap, but I do like it for like pockets and stuff like that. And speaking of crossbody strap, for this I will use my regular measurements, which is 56 for crossbody. You know, whatever you have if you've done a crossbody before, you know your preferred measurements. I have done quite a few of them. If you have not, I would say go with 57, 58 for the length of the crossbody, and then before you make the final stitch, adjust it. If you're shorter, you may not need that long. So that's the beauty of custom work. You customize it to your body measurements. Okay, so this is it. You also need 2 handles. With my, I just had it in my hand. My lighter. I just had it in my hand. I don't know what I did with it. And then you need 2 handles. Let's cut the 2 handles. I am using 1-inch webbing. 1.5 would work great as well. I wanted this print and it only came in 1 inch. So it is what it is. I have become suddenly a big fan of 1.5 inch webbing and seatbelt webbing. I don't know why. I gravitate towards it lately. Okay, burn your ends so they don't fray on you. Oh, there it is. I found it. This is a polyester webbing, so that's why I burn it, because it melts. If you're using a cotton webbing, you need to add some endings to it. Either metal one, or you can make some from, like Linds is showing you on one of her videos, how to do cork or leather endings. But don't leave them raw, because they would unravel on you, especially the cotton ones. Okay, so that is done. I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can use for the lining of the slip pocket. This way it has like that faux binding. I'm going to go pick some hardware and come back and do a run through of everything that we need to have by day 1. Alright, so we have finished everything. There's really not a lot of pieces. So I'll do a brief run through of what you should have on the table, and that will be it for today. So you have your main lining, 2 of them. If you're using cotton, and going forward this applies to all pieces, if you're using cotton woven, do interface it with a woven interfacing. Again, my preferred one is Cotton Soft from Wizardry Stitchery Crafts. You should also have 2 main pieces. In my case, these are vinyl. I have not interfaced any of my pieces because I want the look of a softer, more pliable bag than a stiff one. So this is the glitter I'm going to use. Then you need 2 of the top parts of this main part. Then you need 1 zipper for the main with 2 tabs and a zipper pull. You need 1 piece for the zipper, for the connector. It's only 1 pattern piece, but eventually we'll cut it in 2. And you need 2 D-ring connectors. You will need, for the interior, 2 pieces for the zipper pocket, your zipper pull, and your facing. Remember, do not cut the rectangle out of the facing yet. We'll do that tomorrow after we stitch it to the pocket. You also need, for the exterior, you need your accent slip pocket for the exterior. I went with yellow because it will be seen at the top a little bit, so it looks like piping, so that's why I went with yellow. I did just regular water resistant canvas, waterproof canvas, Autotex yellow, and then my water resistant canvas from Backstitch Prints will be on the outside. You also need 2 handles and your crossbody strap. In my case, this is done with 1 inch watercolor webbing from Backstitch Prints. And you need your swivel clips, clasp, and the slider for the adjustable crossbody strap. And this is it. Optionally, you can grab a couple of rivets that you will be adding to like the handles, the connector, but again, those are optional. You can also stitch those in and it will be just fine. Grab also a marking pen and double-sided tape. I love my double-sided tape. Don't skip the double-sided tape. By far my favorite one again is the Wizardry double-sided tape, the permanent one for bag projects. So grab some of that if you don't have it. I use all their sizes, 1/8, 1/4, 1/4 and 1/2 inch. They're by far the best that I've tried. Now that you have everything cut and laid out nicely, go ahead and snap a photo of your pattern pieces interfaced if you chose to do so, and post it in the day 1 photo comments of the Sew Along album. You'll find the Christy Sew Along album in the Backstitch Backroom on Facebook. And I'll see you back here tomorrow when we'll do some prep work, and we'll also sew the zipper pocket, the inside zipper pocket. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.